Beloved, welcome back to the shop. Today's video has been requested by one of you. Our friend and brother in Christ, Mr. Jammin1701, has asked me this. Cody, could you go through your fishing rig? Rods, reels, bait, etc. I would love to see it. Your timing could not be better. We're just coming down off of Mount Fuji after a successful trip. I'm in the process of rehabbing the boat and all my equipment, and I would love to share that with you. Now, you probably don't know this because I haven't talked about it, but a good portion of my early life, I was really into hunting and fishing. To the point where I had my own boats, jet boats. I used to build my own rods. I fly fished all over the country, tied my own flies, even sold lures. That's how I'd made money. I had a lure selling business or making business when I was in high school, and it was a big part of my life. Now, 20 years, it's been probably since I've really been fishing because I had to check out. I had to get my bag. I was raising kids, getting married, starting a business. It wasn't time for that, but now things are slowing down a little bit and I can get back into it. So I don't have a lot of equipment. A lot of the stuff that I used to have didn't make it through the, well, who knows what happened to it, but I did find a few things and I'm rebuilding it slowly, so it's a perfect time to share with you. Today we're going to be covering one of my particular specialties, and that is high alpine lakes for native trout. What a time capsule this is, and incredible memories. My mom is currently in hospice, and I was over, we're kind of going through some of her things, and my dad had saved some of the rods that I built. This was my salmon rod, a G Loomis here. This would have been for Chinooks, spring and fall Chinooks, and this is a custom made rod for drifting steelhead. This is also on a Loomis. My Sage fly rods, and then the new rod that I bought for trout, which is here. I don't know what happened to the old one, so we're starting fresh. About 2 months ago, I went down to a place I used to buy tackle and supplies from, and I was looking for the perfect high elevation trout or Pacific Northwest high lake trout fishing rod, and this is what I came up with. So this is actually made by St. Croix. I've used their rods quite a bit. This is in more of their entry level. This is a Triumph in a 7-foot, and the line would be a 4 to a 10. Now this is a spinning rig. You know, a spinning rig has big eyes, and a casting rig is going to have small eyes. They're just different types of reels. But my favorite fishing of all was drifting for winter steelhead, and that this is a beautiful rod here. This is the G Loomis blank. It was custom built, but I've always liked this style with the cork handles, and so everything is always kind of based on this. So when I was looking for a good trout rod, it's primarily going to be used for trolling in a boat, and that means pretty good pull. So you need something with a little bit of stiffness, a little bit of back to it. And just because I just like that steelhead feel and the longer handles, I like to be able to have a cork handle with that's long on the back that you can really come up and brace on your arm and set the hook up. It's got a little bit of spine in it because you get a lot of weight. I'll use up to an ounce depending on where we're at. But this is what I settled on, a beautiful little rod, 7-foot, and medium to light action. I bought the rod and reel at the same time. I like it to be nicely balanced. I went through everything. I looked at about everything that's on the market, and this was what I came up with. This is my boat box. This will get built out a little bit more, but I'm going to have in here, just before we get into tackle, my rod holder, the base for my fish finder. Fish finder is very important because it allows me to know what the depth is, and I can fish accordingly. I ended up just buying, this is the entry-level Garmin. I think it was $120. I got that at Bass Pro, and very happy with this. Guys are asking if I liked it. Game-changing. We didn't have this technology back when I was really into it. WD-40, of course. People out west, Western man believes that this hides your scent, and fish love it. We spray it all over everything. Canned corn, in case you run out of bait, and that's basically it. We don't need to get into that. But tackle, you don't need much. I like to have a small, simple tackle box, everything, grab and go. So the reel, I'll keep in there. I break it down every time. I'm not a Philistine. I don't leave everything all hooked up to get broken. And this is the reel that I settled on. It really is a great combo for this little Triumph. This is the Nasci, N-A-S-C-I, and I wound it with Maxima, my favorite line. Maxima 8-pound, and man, what a beautiful spinning combo this is. I've caught 40 fish on this. This is the trout fishing box that I put together. Everything in here is new because I didn't really have anything left over. When I was at my folks' place, I found my old steelhead box. I've been using the Plano stuff for a long time, and I used to be really conservative. I'm not the type of guy to go out with the giant tackle box. I know what I like, and I only have usually 3 changes of it, and I don't like to carry a bunch of gear around. So how I would set this up, I'd have one for trout, one for steelhead, and one for salmon, and keep them separate. So when I was putting it together, this is what I came up with. I found this Plano waterproof box, and this is nice because I can set this on my boat on the seat, and it's got rubber feet on it, and it's sticky. It doesn't slide off. I've yet to lose it. So what I started with is 3 liters, 5, 3, and 2. I always have used Maxima Ultra Green line. It's my favorite, and it's been my go-to. Tools, a small Mora knife, stainless steel. You want stainless, you have to be careful with the Moras because they're carbon, many of them, and they'll rust very quickly. A pair of needle nose pliers, and this is something I learned from fly fishing. This is just a small pair of clippers, and I'll take this and I'll just clip it right onto my shirt or jacket. It's on a tether, and when I'm trimming lines or need to cut fishing line, I used to bite it with my teeth, but I don't like to do that anymore. So this is a handy, it's always there within reach. So I always have one of those, and a sharpening stone. I think that is it for the tools. Now for lures. What works really good, the method, what I learned from my granddad was a Ford Fender man, and I am too, is the Ford Fender or the flasher. And we're gonna build one out together. As I said, I keep 3 sets. Why? Because you'll lose one, or you can, and you'll have an extra one, and your friend, he will not have this, and he will be watching you catch fish, and he will start to become envious. And so you need to have a 3rd for him so you can tie it up exactly like you have so he can catch fish as well. So I always carry all the stuff in triplicate. I'll have a few rooster tails and flashers. We're gonna build our lures today, just some beads and assortments there. And my sinkers, 1 ounce, 1/4, and 1/2. A few swivels. Couple more flashers, and some bait hooks. If I get tired of trolling or you want to go have some lunch, throw an anchor down, a couple of bobbers, you can throw some canned corn on there, throw a worm on there, and you're good. Some hooks and flasher. That's basically it right there. And then this is for getting a hook out if the fish swallows it. This little box is kind of nice. It comes with this, and we've really enjoyed that for bait. So I can put that on there. I can use my knife to cut the bait, cut the worms without dulling the blade and messing up my boat. I prefer to fish out of a boat versus the bank, so I'm gonna be typically running the tiller, and I'll fish right off the back of the boat. So I'll modify, well, I have kind of a custom setup here. It's gonna be like a poor man's downrigger, and we will build this together. So if you're wondering what's going on, in the clear water of the Pacific Northwest, in these deep, cold mountain lakes, these trout get big, up to 20 pounds. And the lakes are big and deep, and to get their attention, what works best and what always works is a Ford Fender. This is a Ford Fender or a flasher. What it is that this would tie directly onto your rod, and as you troll, these flashers go round and round. And they refract to reflect a lot of light, surface light, and it draws attention to it. The trout will come to see it, and then trailing off of that will be your bait. So these work very, very well. They come in rainbow or brass or silver. I'll have usually get a variety, but here's how I customize it. Now, I like to fish off the back of the boat really close in, and I like to control my depth. So I'll use a pretty heavy sinker, a 1 ounce chain sinker like this, and we'll do a custom swivel here, which you can't buy them this way, so you have to build them out. I'll start by robbing the clasp off of the swing swivel. And this is just so I can rig it up quicker and break it down earlier. And we're gonna put that right in the weight. Now, once I get that on there, then I'll crimp this, and that way it'll stay on and not come loose on us. Now, when we're hooking up, so this is going to come from the fishing rod right here. You'll just have to tie just the 1 knot on here. You just have to tie 2 knots to get, and then you're ready to go. And then right here, we're going to just go right into the Ford Fender. Like that. Now the rudder, you can put weight on these guys, and that's fine. But what tends to happen when you hang a weight from this is you've got so much going on that they always get fouled, especially for newbie fishermen that will let out too quickly and that you constantly fight with it. So you've got your weight, and then your rudder, and then your flashers, and then we're going to go right to our leader that will have our bait on, or our wedding ring, which we'll build now. To build our custom lure, we're going to start with a double hook or egg hook setup with a bait hook, a hook that's going to be suitable for a worm. These are ones that I salvage. I had everything tied up, and some of them broke and some of them got clipped, and so I saved them, and so I'll just cut this mono off of here, and we'll resharpen them and reuse them because they're still really good hooks. Sharp hook is really important, and I rarely see guys spend the time to do it. You know it's sharp and it's ready to fish with by testing it on your fingernail. Put it on your fingernail, and if it won't slide, if it sticks like a cat claw, then that's sharp enough. These may not need much sharpening. Yeah, see how slippery that is? It's just sliding. Take your stone. It doesn't take very much. Just do 3 sides, flip it over, and then hit the back side. That's all it takes, and then check it on your fingernail. You can always tell a fisherman, or a good one, because they'll have scratches all down his thumb. I believe this knot is called a snell or a double snell. I forget, it's been a long time. About 4 foot a leader on there. I've got 5-pound test. And now we can build our lure. Oh, dumped half my goodies out there. I like to use, this is a spin glow we used to call them. Or even better yet is a flasher blade. Brass, silver, rainbow is always good. Let's do a little blue-green pattern. We'll do a spinner on this one, and we'll do a spin glow on the other one. Greens, pinks, oranges, you can mix colors. I don't know how much difference it makes. We've got this little faceted blue bead that's pretty. We'll put that on there. Anything to kind of reflect the light. After the beads, we'll put a spinner blade. We'll kind of go with this blue-green theme. You know, on second thought, the biggest trout I caught all year was on this one right here. So I'll use it instead. We'll do a pink spin glow and an orange and white, or orange and pearl. That looks pretty nice. Now your fenders, the same way, keep those polished up. The shinier, the better. Here's a trick for storing these so they don't get all tangled up and you can get at them real quick when you need them. Get some cardboard, about the size, cut it about the size of an index card. And you're going to take and cut your slits in there according to however many you have. Don't store your Ford Fender with the lead on it. If you throw that in your bag, it'll just beat everything all up. Keep your lead separate. And store your Ford Fenders individually. I used the Ford Fender bag for the lead, I think. Individually so they don't get damaged. These are expensive. They're $20, $25 a piece, so you want to take care of them. Bag all this up individually and it keeps it nice and organized. You'll tie your weight on, you'll clip on your flasher, your fender, hook up your lure, bait it with worm. Worm is essential. You're already sharpened, you're ready to go, and it stows nice, and you can keep it in a small container. You don't have to have one of those big clumsy tackle boxes. It seems to me the definition of true mastery is when you can do whatever it is that you're doing at an expert level, fishing, hunting, your work, with the least amount of equipment, without having to have a bunch of stuff. Stuff doesn't necessarily make you better. Just take what you need, nothing more, nothing less. And that to me is always kind of the hallmark of the sign of a true expert. A guy who has only what he needs and nothing else. A 12-foot boat is pretty small. I always have a lot on my mind, and if you're going to be far away from home, you don't want to forget stuff. So having everything kind of done ahead of time, having a good system that's all compact, it just makes it so much more enjoyable. All my tackle is in the orange box, all the stuff for the boat. All I have to do is to grab my rod, I'll grab my cooler. We'll either dig some worms the night before or stop by the local store, grab some bait, grab my rod, maybe a few snacks, and off we go. And that's my whole system. That's all I've ever really used in the past, and that's about the size of it. And that's about it for today. Thank you, Jammin1701, for that video idea. It was fun to put together, and hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, take a moment, click that thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what your favorite trout lure is. If you have any tips or tricks that can help the rest of us that enjoy fishing, and if there's an interest, I'll be happy to take you out again and show you how we do. So may God bless you and your families. Please keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you all on the next video.